Hello, everybody. Welcome to the latest episode of Martial Arts Madness Month. Today, I'm reviewing the 2014 South Korean martial arts action drama film Kundo: Age of the Rampant. Directed by Yoon Jung-bin and starring Hung Jung-yo as Dalmuchi, who you'll recognize as the star of Ashfall, and he was the villain in 2008's Chaser. You have Gang Dong-won as Jo Yoon, Yi Song-min as Dae-ho, Cho Jin-wong as Lee Tae-ki, who was the star of Bluebeard, and you have Mong Dong-suk as Chunbo, who everybody should know who Ma Dong-suk is, aka Don Lee, who starred in films like The Outlaw and The Rundown, right? And he was in The Eternals, right? So, lot of stars in this South Korean martial arts film. So the movie takes place in feudal South Korea, Korea, back when it was called the Joseon Dynasty, right? And the movie is kind of like a South Korean version of Robin Hood, even though the movie, you watch it and you can tell that somebody saw 2013's Django, because everything down from the soundtrack to the way the film's directed, and certain choices of like camera angles and close-ups, you can tell somebody saw Quentin Tarantino's Django, because holy crap, did the so it's just like straight up, I was just reminded of that film, right? And the movie even has like a Wild West, like kind of like music in the film, like American Western music in the film, man. I couldn't believe this stuff, right? So the movie is about how in the Joseon Dynasty, the officials and noblemen are so corrupt that people are starving to death. People are getting taxed to starvation, and being like, tricked into like losing their lands and being enslaved by the nobles, that a bandit group called the Choso clan is going around heisting nobles and taking their money and wealth, their money and food, and giving it to the poor, and at the same time punishing bad nobles, right? While this group is around, we learn the stories of two men, right? Which is Domochi, right? Played by Hao Jung-woo, who's supposed to be 18 at the start of the film and at 20 at the end. I'm like, yeah, that's a very scuffed 18-year-old, right? You have like, it reminded me of like high school films, where if you ever seen like old high school like movies, it's like, yeah, that guy looks like he's fucking 20. He's in his 20s and he's trying to play as like a teenager or whatever. Right? Oh my god. But yeah, so the movie, yeah, the main character is like a butcher, right? Who one day, after delivering like meat to a noble family, right, gets offered a job by one of the underlings of the nobleman, which is Jo Yoon's character. Sorry, Jo Yoon's character, right? Which is played by Gang Dong-won, who is the villain, right? Who was the bastard son of a nobleman, right? who gets brought into the nobleman's family, right? Because he only had daughters, only for his 4-year-old wife to one day actually give birth to a son, and that created basically a monster, right? Because he becomes this. He tries to kill his baby brother and gets caught and becomes this tenacious bastard, and he's a master. Not only is he evil, tenacious bastard, but he's also a master swordsman, and he has a katana, right? Which that's the thing about like South Korean films is that like their sword play looks a lot like Chinese kung fu films, but then they love to have samurai swords. So it's like I don't know, man. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, Joe, you at the beginning of the movie, you see the bandits commit a heist, and who was one of the party members at said party where the well, I didn't say the party, but like basically there was a heist at a corrupt official's 60th birthday, and the younger brother of Joe Yoon, who is the official heir because he's not a bastard, gets murdered, and Joe Yoon the wants his brother-in-law's wife to be killed, who is pregnant, right? Because the baby could produce an heir, and he would be, left to the side again. So who gets the job but our poor butcher, who was paid next to nothing for all the meat he delivers, and gets like 20, like what was it, like 20 pieces of silver, which is, I don't know if that was supposed to be like a reference to the Bible, like how because like Judas was given like 20 pieces of silver to betray Christ or whatever. So I don't know. Maybe that was the subtitles. I don't know. Like somebody was funny during the translation, right? So yeah, he gets offered a job to kill his brother, the brother-in-law's wife, and he's told the story like, oh yeah, she was like cheating on her brother, the wife was cheating on his brother, right, and has been like shacking up with monks, right. So he goes to kill her only to find out she's pregnant and doesn't go along with it, right. So our 18-year-old protagonist couldn't do the job and gets punished by the criminal, Joe Yoon and his henchmen, right? Try to kill him and his mother and his sister, who he lives with, right? So afterwards, Joe Yoon's character, not Joe Yoon, Dochi's character tries to get revenge, only to be almost killed again, but gets saved by the bandits, the Robin Hood bandits from the beginning of the film, the Chosu clan, who invites him to join their clan, right? And he trains to be this badass, and he's bald. He's bald because the fire, they set fire to his place, and he burned he's burned like half his scalp, right, or a quarter of his scalp, right? Yeah. So yeah, the movie is basically the rise, like Cho Yoon rises to power and becomes like super corrupt, right? And then our main characters couldn't take a blind eye anymore to him. And even though at first they're like, oh, let's not go after him because he's too powerful, right? And then there's the fact that the one guy has a personal vendetta, right? But they do come up with a plan to take him down, and shit happens. Shit happens. So that's the movie. I'm not gonna just recap the whole film, right? So I'm just gonna go in my likes and dislikes. I like the action of the film, right? Though a lot of the dialogue in the film seems a bit too modern, right? That shit was annoying. like there's like the movie feels a little too Hollywood, probably because they are copying Quentin Tarantino's style in the film. Right, the movie reminded me a lot of Django, but like I like the characters. Myeon Dong Suk was great as the one of the badass bandits in the film, and he has a decent amount of screen time. Right, there's like a love triangle between him, um, the female archer of the bandit group, and then like the they have a nerdy official that's part of their group who's played by the Bluebeard guy, and he also has a thing for the archer girl. So there's like a love triangle there, right, where they're both competing for the same girl. Yeah, there are some badass action scenes in the film, right? The cinematography is good, even though they are copying from Quentin Tarantino's style. I did like even though some of the humor I found to be awkward, there were some like genuine jokes in the movie where like, oh, like that I found humorous, right? Overall, I think the movie is good. It's a great film, but yeah, it copies too much from the, you know, it copied too much. It's the thing where it copied the style of Django too much. Story-wise, it's its own thing. It's just like the script. Nothing about the script screams like it was stealing from Quentin Tarantino. But it's more like how they shot the movie. It's like, oh yeah, this is very, like I said, they very very much had this like they were going for that 2013 Django, right? Yeah, and then like they had the thing that a lot of South Korean films were the South Koreans tried to do this thing because they in a lot of Western films we'll try to humanize the villains when South Korean films when they try to humanize the villains, they always do it way too late in the film, and it's like at that point it's like, dude, like we don't give a shit. We've seen this guy kill kids and shit, like kill women and children. I don't give a fuck. Don't try to redeem this guy, okay? This guy's irredeemable. Don't try to humanize him or anything, man. That shit is fucking annoying, man, when they do that shit. Oh, because it's like they don't know how to do it. They don't. If you want my advice, don't have your villains kill women and children, okay? But then again, even in this movie, like the good guys sometimes kill innocent people. So it's like that's the thing where it's like, oh, even our heroes kill innocent people once in a while. So it's like that's why I guess like they have to have the villains be so brutal. But then if you're gonna have your villains be so brutal, don't try to humanize. It just comes off pathetic, right? Overall, I like the film. It has its problems, but it's a great film. 7 out of 10. It's on Tubi, so check it out. Myeon Dong Suk looked fucking ripped in this movie. You don't see him shirtless, but you could kind of see his pecs. He has like a shirt that shows off his chest. Holy fuck! I had no idea Myeon Dong Suk was like, cause Myeon Dong Suk always looked fat to me, and I heard from like not only Hollywood that he's supposed to be a bodybuilder. Here he actually looked pretty fit, man. Holy fuck! So yeah, and by the way, like I said, if you're a fan of South Korean films, you'll recognize a lot of the side characters, like the fucking boss from like the Myeon Dong Suk films, The Outlaws and The Rundown, is one of the henchmen of the main villain. Right? Holy crap. And he doesn't have any lines in the movie. There's a thing where he goes to say something, whisper something in the ear of the villain, and they cut it. They cut out the audio. Oh man, that was fucking funny. So yeah, we currently have a poll for the next March Martial Arts Madness Month review. It's like 2 samurai films, 13 Assassins and Shogun Assassin. Right now, Shogun Assassin is winning. You'll have till noon, till Saturday before I'll pick one to watch, and hopefully in the evening or at night I'll post the next review. Okay, guys, peace.